everybody, welcome back. I'm Cass with College of Lore.
I am the Penitent with College of Lore.
I'm gonna speedrun every intro forever.
So,
welcome back.
This is our feature where we watch The Legend of Vox Machina episode by episode and do a breakdown of each episode.
If you haven't watched the other ones, why? Why are you starting on episode 5?
So, about that.
Yeah, we got a bunch of views on, like, the 4th one last week, and I'm like, why aren't you guys watching all of them? Do you, like, only care about certain episodes? That's kind of weird. Like, I guess if that's your vibe, that's fine, but, like, you should watch all of them, because we have cool stuff to say in all of them.
Yeah, like, you're valid, but...
Why?
Anyway. Last week, what happened?
We need to talk, like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe.
Check us out on Patreon. Every time. We forget every time.
Thank you to our patrons, Remy, Sweet, and of Winter.
I love you. You're my favorites.
And we are trying, by the end of this year...
to get to 150 subscribers! Let's do it!
We are currently 46 away. It is December 2nd, as we're recording.
We can do this. You guys gotta get us there. Let's go.
We appreciate so much. Our goal was originally 100, but you guys have blown that goal out of the water, and we thank you guys
awesome.
So much for it.
The coolest.
So that being said, what happened last episode?
They fought some ghosts.
Cool. So this episode...
I forgot. For a second.
Yes.
I forgot for a second.
They fought some ghosts to keep a book.
I fought some... Why did I say...
You fought them.
I fought them. It's all me. I fought some brain cells to say anything useful. Anyway, what's up with this one? I'm so embarrassed. I don't know how to be a person.
This episode is called Fate's Journey.
Okay.
It is episode 5 of season 1 of The Legend of Vox Machina.
Yep.
And Vox Machina journeys to Whitestone to confront the Briarwoods and help Percy reclaim his family home. Scanlan studies Delilah Briarwood's spellbook. The Briarwoods send horrific monsters to retrieve their missing book.
Woo.
Yeah. So.
All right. Let's talk about the episode.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's go.
So.
Sneaky.
Yeah, we start with Vex and Vax sneaking past guards.
Not unusual for them.
Yeah, as they make their way through the city. They may have Captain Jarrett on their side, but they do not have everyone on their side yet.
Yes. They are sneaking, and Keyleth turns into a squirrel and then sneaks into a bottom of a shop that we will later find out is Gilmore's shop,
we actually
hides them.
If you looked early, you can see...
Oh, can you see?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, Keyleth breaks them in, and they sneak. And then they get caught. Very fast.
Yes.
Sad. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so
they weren't really stealing. They were just borrowing.
I mean, I'm sure that given better circumstances, they wouldn't have...
I genuinely believe that they probably wouldn't have, like...
Right?
I don't think they were actually planning on stealing. I think they were probably, like... I don't think they were that kind of people. They steal other things, but they wouldn't steal from Gilmore. Probably. I hope.
Yeah.
That would be kind of rude. I do think under any other circumstances things would have been fine, but they are not allowed to be places.
Just because, yeah, you can't really...
They're on house arrest.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to buy stuff when you're on house arrest.
It is.
How do you arrest a house?
Amazon doesn't exist.
Yeah. Sad.
Anyway.
They talk their way out of it,
they do.
Which, good job.
Listen, as long as you have Vax with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the flirting, it makes me so happy.
Yeah,
by representation, my beloved. I love it for them.
You love to see bi-rep winning.
And also, like, in the same scene, Vax flirts with Keyleth.
Yeah,
sort of.
So he flirts with a man and a woman in the same scene.
And it's very, very good content.
Yeah.
Keyleth is so cute. She gets her little fingers stuck.
Yeah, they'll look for anti-vampire supplies while they're here. They get some holy water, some arrows that kind of do some sort of radiant damage.
Explode.
They get a steak.
Stabby.
They're hungry.
Snack.
And we get to
snack for the road.
We get to see Rodrigo.
Yeah, little guy. He's a little guy.
Little ghost guy.
Little ghosty boy.
But yes, Keyleth does get her fingers trapped in a finger trap.
That does make sense.
And Vax helps her get out, so she does not have to stay there forever.
And ever.
Which she was willing to do.
I think that would be a little silly if she had to do that. I don't think that would be very good for the show. Very bad narrative conclusion.
Off-screen, however, the rest of Vox Machina stole a cart.
Which is kind of impressive, because that's big to steal.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
And they will not be giving it back.
They sure won't. For reasons yet undisclosed that you know if you've watched the episode. If you haven't watched the episode, why are you here?
Asking how it went for Vex, Vax, and Keyleth, Vex simply replies, "Let's just say I'd hate to see what Gilmore charges his enemies."
You do love to see it.
I love that he is a person who's interested in people, but he's also interested in running a business first.
Yeah. He has priorities. Good.
So we cut to a little bit ways down the road. Vex is staring at Percy, and the two finally talk about
everything.
How he's feeling. They get kind of close to flirting at the end
Only
of this
a
conversation.
little.
As close as
close as any of them can really get at this point.
Yeah, as close as I feel any of
They'll
those
get there eventually, I'm sure.
two people can get, but yeah.
They're trying their
they
best.
just talk. He expresses that he is. I like when Percy opens up a little bit.
It makes me happy. He's trying his best.
For a Percy-centric season, they do find a lot of ways to incorporate a lot of
Yeah.
other people's stuff. And Percy's emotions about things almost get lost in the shuffle early on.
Yeah.
So I like when they give him moments to... This episode was a big moment to breathe.
Yeah.
Even with a lot of things happening, it was a big moment to breathe.
And yet, it only goes down from
Yes.
here, and then it goes up at the end. So it doesn't only go down, I guess, but it goes down for a while. I'm so excited to see my favorite character.
Scanlan is trying to translate the
He's not going very good with it.
book. He finds out there's something called a zipper twat.
And then Keyleth is like, no, that's not what it is.
Yes. Which, thank you, Keyleth. That would be a very different show.
Sure would've.
But you see a design for a ziggurat, which is a building you can use to communicate with gods.
Very cool.
That Keyleth knows about as part of her Ermente. So,
Grog
that's some foreshadowing.
Grog is struggling. He's trying. He's trying really hard to be okay.
He's trying to talk to Pike, but...
And it's not quite working the way he wants it to.
No. Because he's not stupid, but he
doesn't quite understand the sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love Grog being open about his emotions here. And I kind of love the reflection on masculinity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to point out, is like, it's really cool to see. There are a lot of kind of stereotypes that get broken open in this show. And in Critical Role in general, I would argue. But it is cool to see, like, the buff, strong guy really being, like, open and vulnerable. And it's also cool to see, like, Vax talking to him, and, like, this equally, like, kind of like you would expect him to be the edgy loner, because edgy stealth rogue, you know? He dresses in all black, blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of cool to see, like, these two very tough, kind of different kinds of tough, but very tough figures being very open and connecting with each other and helping each other sort through their emotions.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
What's interesting to me about this show, so I've brought this up before, I think, but Campaign 1's characters all look like stereotypes at the face value.
Yes. And they're
But
not.
all have something deeper going on.
Yes.
And all kind of break that trope down at some point.
Yes.
And I think it shows in the show a lot of different ways to be a man and a lot of different ways to be a woman.
Yes.
Just looking at all the characters and how they
It's very cool. All of them are very distinct, and they all kind of break the stereotypes you'd expect them to fall into.
Yeah.
Scanlan mentions the whispered
Yeah,
one.
it's really subtle, it's really easy to miss, but as they're driving into the more spooky environment, you can just hear Scanlan go, "The whispered one," like a question mark.
Who's that? We'll find out later.
The scenery turns all spooky, there's mist, things are more dead as they're going through the forest.
And Percy is like, I'm not gonna chill or rest
Yeah.
or do anything like a normal person. In fact, I'm never gonna stop doing anything.
Which, take a nap, you bastard.
Take a nap, you stinky boy, or you're gonna get levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
That's hard.
But Vex notices that something is tracking them.
Doggy.
Yeah, it's a doggy.
It's a doggy. And Kill is like, oh, good, doggy. No, it's not a doggy.
So, we see these weird-ass wolf things.
Very, very creepy looking.
So I was doing some looking. There's not a consensus in what these things are.
That's wild.
Some people think that they are fire wolves that have been zombified. Some people think that they're, like, necromancered dire wolves.
Mm-hmm.
No one's 100% sure what these are.
Wild.
Because
That's
a lot of
fun.
this goes different in the show. So
Yeah.
if I can kind of sidetrack for 1 second, they go through an abandoned stone giant fortress during the events of the podcast,
Yes.
which they totally skip over here.
Yes. They don't talk about that in
Yes,
this.
and that informs some context for later in the episode when you see
Yes.
these zombified giants.
Mm-hmm.
But they skip over that and they insert these dog-like beings.
I don't know how I never connected those two things before.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it gets touched on more and I forgot about it, but like, I know that happens, and I know about the giants, I just never put those pieces together somehow.
Yeah.
I forget stuff all the time, I don't know. Maybe I connected it before and just forgot. It's a mystery. Anyway, it's not a dog.
Yes. It's
Puppy.
not a dog.
It's something close to a dog in
yes.
some horrible way.
So this horrible tongue shoots out of this creature,
Blah.
and it takes Scanlan from the cart.
Yuck.
Um,
He has the book, and they want the book back.
and they pursue. These are some brave fucking horses.
Yeah, horses are not like this in real life, guys. Horses are scared of everything.
Yeah.
If you know anything about horses, these are some crazy fucking horses.
I don't think horses would pursue a normal wolf.
Nope, absolutely not. Keyleth is so cool.
I love Keyleth.
We're Keyleth fans in this household.
This division of the College of Lore is the Keyleth Appreciation Society. Or
Yes.
CAS, if you will.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's spelled different.
Yes.
Scanlan, buddy.
Yeah, he looks a little too as they pursue the kind of this dog shoves its tentacle up his mouth to get him to stop shouting.
Yeah.
Scanlan looks a little too into it.
Yeah. Yuck.
Oh, Scanlan.
Yucky.
They are trying to pursue because Vex can't quite hit the dog, and Vex is like, hurry
Percy,
up
go
faster
faster.
after them. Yeah.
Percy's like, did you
Just
yeah?
yam me?
It's very funny.
It's a easy to miss little joke, but I like that joke a lot.
It's really cute. I love them.
The dogs attack the cart, and Keyleth just straight punches one that bites Vax.
Smack.
And then, I think casts some sort of hold animal effect. Some sort of hold monster.
Yeah. It might be Dominate Monster. I'm not sure when they get that
Yeah.
spell.
But something to make it stand still so Grog can
Yes.
rip it apart, basically.
Yes.
And then as Grog forces them both out, he says, that's for me, or that's for Pike, and me, and Scanlan, because he probably won't survive this.
Mood. It really do be like that sometimes with them.
Yes. Vex does shoot one of the arrows from Scanlan.
The exploding arrows, yeah.
Gilmore. And blow up the one that isn't carrying Scanlan, because she doesn't
Which
want
is
to blow up
probably
Scanlan.
smart. And eventually he has to
Yeah.
drop the book
So he has to choose
not die.
to basically either grab this rope that's extended to him from Vex, or to fall,
Yes.
and he chooses the rope, and he gives up the book.
Sad.
Now things swiftly start to go worse.
Yep.
There's stuff there. You have to ditch the cart as it falls off the cliff. Or rest in peace, brave horses. You'll be missed.
Yeah.
Um,
Sad horse's death.
their stuff kind of rolls off to the very edge of the cliff,
Yeah.
conspicuously.
Conspicuously. That's not
And-
threatening and foreboding at all.
They pursue Vex's rope and see that it is broken.
Sad. Goodbye, Scanlan.
Oh, I wrote that note, didn't I?
Yeah. We're not gonna say that. We're gonna say what you meant to say.
So, Scanlan survives
Yes.
and makes a dramatic entrance.
With his cool spell.
Yes, with Scanlan's hand.
Yeah. I think it's kind of lame that wizards wouldn't let them use the
Yeah.
stuff in the show. That's kind of lame. Cringe.
Hey, Vox Machina, I know you're sad about your friend. Grab your stuff.
For real, yeah. Come on. You paid a lot of money for that.
Because it all falls off the cliff.
Goodbye.
Everything
And also the fucked up dog survived.
and also the fucked up dog survived, so...
So everything sucks right
yeah,
now.
Everything's looking great for Vox Machina right now.
Yep, for sure.
We see the Briarwoods next. They are talking
Yay.
to Professor Anders.
Bitch. Hate that guy.
Stonefell has brought them some dinner guests. 7 conspicuously sized people.
Hello, Campaign 3 character.
Yeah, so, Campaign 3 spoilers ahead, skip like 30 seconds.
Hi, Laudna.
Yeah, hi Laudna. We see
Love her.
straight up Laudna, a Campaign 3 character, here for
Yes.
reasons.
Watch Campaign 3.
Yes.
I like your next note on this
The
document.
Briarwoods, they may be hot.
They are.
but
It's
they
not a
murder
maybe.
kids.
Yeah, that's less good. That makes me sad. Don't do
Known
that.
hot child murderers, the Briarwoods.
That is certainly a way to describe the Briarwoods.
Vox
Sure.
Machina makes camp, and Keyleth makes a fire.
A little too much fire.
But a fire.
She's trying her best.
Vex, she sets Vex on fire a little.
Yeah.
And there's more flirting, and then Vex is mean.
Vex is so mean to her. Be nice.
Yeah.
Keyleth is baby. Be nice to her, please.
Vex, she feels like, I feel like it's portrayed here pretty well, that she feels like she's losing.
Her connection to her brother.
Like it's
yeah.
always been just her and Vex.
Yeah.
And she's scared of losing that, of not being the most important person in Vex's life.
Which she has been her whole life. So
Yes.
it's hard to feel like you're losing that connection.
Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting emotion.
It is. It's really interesting to portray that. A lot of things do dismiss things that aren't romantic relationships, so it's cool to see them still holding on to that.
Yeah. We see Scanlan. He has a scroll.
Yeah. It's
And
sure a weird
It
scroll.
makes him a frog, and then a horse beast of some kind.
It had a unicorn horn.
And then a giant, and a fin.
Yeah. Oh, did it have a fin?
Yeah, it had a dorsal, it had like a tail
Oh.
fin.
Cute. Weird.
And then a giant woman.
Not giant.
Tall as Grog.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Was it that tall?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it was that tall.
Weird scroll. It will come up again later.
Yeah. This is a very flirty episode.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like Vax and Keyleth.
Big
It makes me
flirty.
happy.
Keyleth talks about her home and how she doubts herself and that she'll probably never finish her Armament and never properly lead her people.
And Vax is like, no, you will definitely do that. And don't worry about it. And also, I love you so much. He doesn't say that, but
In
he
not
should.
so many words, yes.
He doesn't say that, but he should.
Oh, don't worry. He will.
He sure will. He sure will. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
He will pick the most appropriate time to say that.
Yeah, for sure. The most appropriate. They're so cute.
And I love that Keyleth is like, thanks, friend.
They're so awkward. It's so cute. I love
Yeah.
them. They're little.
We cut to Pike. We see Pike this episode.
Yay, she's there. She's at the temple.
Yeah, she's at a temple to the Everlight. I do
It's
love
honestly, yeah, it's really cool that they give her this.
It's a really neat little side plot to kind of cover for Ashley not being there at the
Yes.
time, but sure is there now. And
Sure
I love
is.
that they give her this little thing. It's really neat.
I love it. It's good.
And it
She
pays
is
off in a
getting
big
help.
way later.
She is worried that she is cursed.
Yes. So everyone except for Percy is having a nice laugh around the fire.
Yeah.
There's some pretty funny cutbacks here to the strangest kills they've ever had.
Yep.
You know, we get to see Vax being a badass.
Grog ripping a monster's tongue out with his teeth.
Scanlan being Scanlan.
Keyleth.
Yeah,
Funny.
Keyleth's is
I feel so bad for her.
I
all
love
the time.
that. So Keyleth's thing, if obviously you've watched this, if you've come to this episode.
Yes.
By the way, watch the episode before coming to this.
I did already say that.
Yes. So she accidentally, basically, like gusts of wind, someone into lava
Help.
when they try to ambush her,
Yeah.
and it's a horrifying death to watch.
Yeah.
And you cut back to her, and she just has this 1,000-yard stare.
Poor baby. She's so little.
Yeah. That's the Keyleth.
She's a little bit of a buzzkill.
They ask Percy, and his worst monster is in Whitestone, and they'll all be
And-
facing them soon.
Yep. Sure
So
will.
thanks for bringing the mood down, buddy.
Yeah. And then Vex and Vax have a little conversation.
Yeah, they talk about where they were before. They talk about their dad. Fuck
Who
their
sucks.
dad, by the way.
Hate that guy. What the fuck?
Vex just wants to ensure that Vax's loyalties lie with her first and foremost.
Which is true.
Yeah,
We find that out later.
but at the same time, he's allowed to branch out to more people.
He's allowed to make friends. Vex let him make friends challenge.
And let him make girlfriends.
Yeah, at least one.
He says a line which I think is a really good line.
Yeah.
Sometimes courage is knowing there could be trouble and taking the chance anyway.
And then Vex is like, that's also what stupidity is.
Yeah.
Sad.
Um,
So they show everyone except Percy sleeping.
yes.
There's one note I want to make of that, that I believe comes from the actual campaign that they don't quite touch on here, but they kind of hint at it, which is the whole time all of this was going on, and it gets more in Whitestone. The whole time this was going on, Matt was making Taliesin roll wisdom saves.
Yeah.
Like basically sanity checks. He was making everyone do it. And every night, Percy was the only one who failed.
Yeah.
Every single night. And it was like, whoa.
So that's a good representation of that.
Yeah.
Can I take a second to talk about the list real quick?
Yes.
So the list, Percy's Pepperbox Revolver. My favorite thing about it is it has a hit list on it.
Yes. It's very cool.
But the thing about it is, both Taliesin and Matt had independently of each other said, I think it'd be really cool if, after all the names are crossed off the list, it gives me another list.
Yes.
Or it gives Percy another list. And basically, they came to each other at the same time with this idea, and I think that's really funny.
Love that for them.
Anyway, they're great role players.
They're really good. Percy's a little bit edgy.
Yeah. But next day, Vox Machina is their Vox Machina.
Yes. And Percy is like, oh man, Whitestone is wonderful and I miss it so much and I'm so glad I get to go back. It's so pretty and there's a sun tree and it's really nice. And then...
And there's a nice moment where his friends are like, well, I'll help you get it back. And then smash cut to Whitestone now.
Sun tree barren, absolutely no natural life. Everything looks like it's falling apart. There's no one in the streets.
And Percy just mutters, what have they done?
A lot, apparently, and not much of it is very good.
So Vox Machina enters. They all follow Percy to look for someone named Keeper Yenin, who we do not meet this episode.
Who is gender flipped in the show for some reason.
Yeah,
what's up with that?
They make some changes to some NPCs here.
Yes.
They gender flip Keeper Yenin.
Yes.
And they significantly age down Archie as well.
Oh yeah, do they?
Oh yeah, the whole Archie
I don't
subplot
remember.
is not in the original campaign.
Wild. I forgot.
They also cut 2 of the Briarwood's lieutenants for the show.
Sad.
Anyway.
Spooky.
We get to see the zombie stone giant.
Very spooky.
Which is fucking terrifying.
They sure are.
And the Briarwoods also have patrols of guards over the city, which is also terrifying.
Yep.
And then we end on the payoff to the dinner scene.
Yeah.
The guests have all been dressed as Vox Machina and are hanged from the sun tree.
Yep.
As a warning. They just sacrificed 7 people to make a statement.
Yep. They hung a bear in the podcast.
Yeah, they did. They did hang a bear in the podcast.
Can you imagine trying to wrangle a bear into that position?
I forget who they sent out to kill the bear in the podcast.
Yeah.
If you remember who, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's the episode.
They're going through it.
Let's talk about some character things real quick.
Yes.
So, let's talk about Vax this episode.
So, Vax and Vex's stuff is kind of intertwined for a little bit, but also Vax and Keyleth is definitely a developing thing, and you do love to see it. I honestly just like that Vax gets to interact with so many people. I mean, he interacts with Keyleth, which is a given, Vex which is a given, but he also interacts with Grog, which is... I just love that this show does a really good job of making sure everyone talks.
Yeah. Gilmore as well.
Yes, Gilmore, of course.
I love,
rep.
You can see that Vax is kind of expanding, opening up to this party thing more.
Yes.
And
Vex is kind of almost closing off in response.
And I compare this to... There are other parallels I can see between this and, like, other shows.
Yeah.
Of the type of scenario this could end up being if Vex doesn't get drawn in.
Yes.
The example I immediately go to is Ruby and Crow Bronwyn from Ruby.
Yeah.
Or Raven and Crow.
Yes. I knew what you meant.
As a situation that this could end up being if Vex doesn't get something to draw herself into this.
Hopefully she will. I say that like things don't happen.
Yes. But there is a very different world where something like that ends up happening.
Yes. And I'm glad that they hold their relationship together.
You see Vex kind of losing her kind of grip on Vax. This kind of the closeness that they've had.
And it's really upsetting.
But
she feels like she's gonna lose it. She's worried about losing that connection to him.
And she doesn't know how to deal with it.
Yep.
Not at all.
And she's struggling. And that's okay. It's okay to struggle.
Yeah.
But I think everyone should also get someone to snuggle.
Percy in this episode.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, that's fine. Moving on.
He's really sad.
He's really edgy. He's just the whole like flicking the gun barrel thing is like I think it's super funny. I had a Nerf gun that looked very similar to that when I was younger, and I'm going to very much derail this conversation. I have really bad paranoia. This is something I've struggled with a lot. And I used to do that with that Nerf gun when I was younger, because it was like a calming, like rhythmic thing that made me feel better and like safe when I would get freaked out at night. And I just think it's funny that Percy also does that for much more reasonable reasons.
Yes.
I did that way before I knew about this. I just think it's funny. Haha, copying Percy's mannerisms.
But yes, Percy
Me
is...
naming myself after Percy's sister, talking about Percy's mannerisms that I also do.
Percy is a little fucked up this episode, and it's gonna get worse.
It only goes down from here until it goes up again.
He is very one-track mind. He's very focused on just getting to and killing the Briarwoods.
Yes.
And that's very clear from this episode.
And who can blame him?
But he'll
Shit
have
sucks.
to sidetrack himself a little bit to get there.
Yes. Keyleth, my beloved. She's so cute.
Yeah.
I feel like we've kind of already talked about most of her character growth.
Yeah,
But she's so cute. She's nervous, but she's starting to trust people and, like, let them comfort her. And I think that's good.
We talked about Grog's moment earlier, but I do love it.
It's very good.
Pike was only in this bit for about a second, but it's good to see her trusting other people.
And she's making progress toward her goals and toward her fixing the Everlight connection, and that's good.
Yeah. And so, Scanlan doesn't openly show a lot this episode.
But there's kind of some subtext, yeah, that kind of...
What I found most interesting is he never has a, like, breakdown fear moment of, like, holy shit, I almost died.
Yeah.
Which I think that's interesting to
It
me.
is. It is interesting kind of in and of itself that he doesn't really show much emotion around that.
Yes. Other growth, we get to see the Briarwoods being straight up bastards.
Yeah. Sad.
Like, this is...
I think they should be nice. I think they should just be nice.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that everything would be better if the Briarwoods were nice.
I forgot that we don't see... I don't know why I forgot this, but I forgot that we don't see Dr. Ripley in this episode.
I like her.
We will see her later.
I'm so... She's horrible. She's absolutely the worst, and I love that about her.
So
She's just such a compelling villain, and they will get to that, I assume, I hope, as the show goes further on, but obviously in the podcast, that does happen again.
So if I can, real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
There is this thing we've both latched onto. It's this AU concept.
Are we gonna talk about this?
Yeah, I'll talk about it for a sec.
Oh no.
It's this AU Vox Machina concept where basically
Can't believe we're talking about this.
the concept
Go
of the
ahead.
AU is that Dr. Ripley is Cassandra's mother.
Oh, are we talking about that? I thought we
Yeah,
were talking
no.
about the other one. Yeah, that's weird. Why do we latch onto that? Who knows?
It was an interesting timeline discussion that someone made for an AU,
Yeah,
and we think it's an interesting AU.
it is.
So we've latched onto that, and as a consequence, have latched onto Dr. Ripley.
Yeah. I'm alright, I'm gonna talk about it. You're not gonna talk about it? I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it.
Do you remember the name of the fic if you want to send people to?
I do. I do know the name of the fic. I also know the name of the author. I read a lot of fan fiction. I'm gonna be open about that. I've talked about that on this channel before. There is a really, really, really cool conceptual AU that someone wrote that basically is summed up by what if Cass escaped and went to hang out with Vox Machina, and Percy was basically manipulated by Dr. Ripley into staying and helping refine the residuum and do a lot of experiments because he's really, really smart. Basically, she's like, okay, he's way more useful. What if I manipulate him by pretending to help him and his family, and secretly I'm the one torturing them, but he doesn't know that, and I pretend to keep him safe from the Briarwoods, and in exchange for all that, he helps me do evil science. And it's very fucked up and very dark, but it's really, really compelling. You can find that on AO3 if you want to read it. You should read it. It's really good. It's called Ripley's Assistant.
Cool.
The author is Essay of Thoughts.
Well, that's not about fanfiction.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I love that story. It's so compelling. They also have some AUs that they've been writing that I think are really cool. You should read all of their stuff. It's so good.
Anyway, if you want to write fanfiction about us...
No, wait. Don't. We're real people. That's weird.
Subscribe!
Subscribe to our YouTube channel that you're watching videos on right now.
Seriously, thank you guys so much. The support this last week has been amazing.
You guys are awesome. We love you. Bye. I guess that's where we're ending it. Bye.
Thank you for watching this video from College of Lore. Remember to like this video, subscribe to join the party, and have a fantastic adventure.